Hello and welcome to the fifth section of our journey along the Peddars Way. We're heading towards the coast where we'll be joining the Norfolk Coast path. We've now left the pine forest behind and we're now heading over undulating countryside. Unfortunately, most of the original Peddars Way is lost here due to the agriculture. Our journey is starting here at Little Cressingham and we're going to follow country lanes, mostly metalled, towards North Pickenham. Well, this is one of the strange areas of Norfolk where you think you're quite high. In fact, we're only 150 feet above sea level. Because of lovely big skies and open fields here. Unfortunately, a lot of the hedgerows have disappeared through farming methods. Well, it's quite an interesting walk. At the moment, we're on a tarmac road, unfortunately, but it's a fairly quiet lane. Already I've seen a road there in the field. I've seen a little stoat or a weasel run across the road in front of me. Unfortunately, I didn't get it on camera again. And the skylarks are singing well and the sun's shining. What more do you want? I'm quite happy. Well, I'm not sure. I think it possibly Noel Card who said that Norfolk was very, very flat. He should have walked up here, because looking all around us, we've got a feeling of height. And there are lovely hills and views for quite a few miles all around us. And funny thing is, we're only 150 feet above sea level, but we feel a lot higher than that on this particular section. I'm now passing Caudle Common, and this is actually the woodland at Caudle Common. Just pause for a moment when you come here. There are marvellous bird songs all around us. Well, in the distance is a sombre red building. This is Pickenham Hall. It's heavily chimneyed. Now this hall was actually built in 1903 and it replaces a previous hall that used to stand on that position. And sadly, in stark contrast, this ivy-clad ruins is that of Hall Farm, on the opposite side of Pickenham Hall. Well, we're now descending down into the Wissey Valley, and we're not far from the River Wissey, and we're still heading towards North Pickenham, which isn't far away now. And just down this bit of track, there's already small dragonflies around. Well, a large tower dominating the skyline in the distance is 107 metres high. It's the old post office relay tower, and it stands right beside North Pickenham airfield, disused airfield. Well, the North Pickenham airfield used to be the base of the American 492nd Bomb Group. It had B-24 Liberators there, but it was only operational for 3 months. It flew over 64 missions and lost nearly 50 aircraft. Well, we're now in Pilgrim country. We've left North Pickenham and we've left the tarmac road. We're now on a lovely green lane which is known as Procession Lane. And back in the days of Henry VIII, there used to be lots of followers, pilgrims, going on their way to Walsingham, and I believe they used to use part of this Peddars Way. We're actually on the route again of the old Peddars Way, having been diverted several times, and we now go back on our way. Well, this is all that remains of an old railway bridge of the former Thetford to Swaffham line. Unfortunately, most of this was dismantled in 1875 and all the embankments are bulldozed flat. Well, all illegally dumped refrigerators by the looks of things. Since they keep bringing in all these new laws, they're getting a lot of this fly tipping coming on. Well, we just passed over the little bridge where all the fridges have been dumped. And it used to be the old King's Lynn to Dereham railway line, now obviously disused. It's a shame that people dump refrigerators this way, which are actually throwing gases back into the atmosphere. Well, we now come to this T-junction and we're going to turn right on the Peddars Way. If you continue to the left, you follow the Swaffham Way back into Swaffham if you want to go that way. Well, having just negotiated another busy road, we're now heading towards South Acre and Castle Acre, two medieval villages. Just behind me is the ruins of Castle Acre Priory. This is the 15th century Castle Acre Bagley Gate. Well, we're now left Castle Acre on the Great Massingham Road, and it's quite a narrow road. I'm quite pleased to say that they have got a lovely track right beside a hedge, so you're off the road. Now, I've already seen a load of geese walking across the road in front of a tractor, and I had an unusual find of a railway signal in someone's back garden. I believe it probably came from the old Swaffham to Watton line that used to run in this area. This is something you don't see very often. DEFRA has very kindly allowed us to walk around this farm area. It's a circular walk. It takes in all the organic farming methods, from the hedges to the crops. Really good idea. Unfortunately now we've left our lovely seclusion behind a hedge and we're now going to join the road again. This monument forms part of the Ordnance Survey GPS system. It's a triangulation post, and I believe this is where Shepherd's Bush is. Unfortunately, Shepherd's Bush isn't marked on any modern maps, that I know of anyway. And we're now leaving the road and going down a lovely grass track. Well, we just turned off Drunken Drove and we're now actually on the Peddars Way, and this particular section is a lovely tree lined and hedge lined section. Well, believe it or not, this is a gorgeous day in September. It's only about the 4th of September. One great thing about this time of year is all the blackberries on the bushes. Well, along this section of the Peddars Way, we're now seeing a new landscape. But between the years of 1938 and 42, this area was covered in bracken and gorse. It was then that they cleared over 1,600 acres of land, and with heavy ploughing, deep manuring and liming, they managed to produce cereal crops. One thing you see in this area is how sandy the soil is on this track. And here we have another piece of sculpture along our Peddars Way. Well, this is really a beautiful section of the Peddars Way. It's still following the original route of the Roman road. Now, all around us on either side of this walk are magnificent views across the open fields, and it's actually hilly in Norfolk, believe it or not. We've got an impression here of being quite high up. Now, just walking up here just now, there's a local gentleman and his 3 dogs, all very friendly dogs, who's telling me that these fields, during the winter months, they have all the geese coming in round about sunset, and they feed along the beet tops, eat the beet off the fields. We're actually doing this particular walk, this particular section, in September now. We're around about the first half of September, so we're still on the edge of summer, and already there's a nip in the air for the autumn coming in. And the crops, I notice, all the wheat is now got in, despite the very wet summer we had in August. So the wheat crops are in, the fields here are now ploughed over and harrowed as well. Well, I've just come off the side of the Peddars Way, just across a stubble field, and behind me is an old Bronze Age tumuli. But in this area, there's two over that way, and there's yet another one further on, which proves that the Bronze Age man lived in this area and quite possibly used the old Peddars Way. Obviously, wasn't the Peddars Way in their day, but it could have been an ancient trackway way before the Romans even came here. Fascinating. Well, we're now carrying on the Peddars Way on a slightly tarmac road, having left the very wet, muddy, grassy lane. And the autumn colours here are beautiful, and all these lovely old oak trees. Well, unfortunately, during October we had no end of rain, and a little stream in front of me has really blocked the road off for us to walk across. You get muddy feet, of course, but luckily for us, there's a nice little bridge right beside the stream. Well, our route's now doglegged round a field hedge, left and right. We're now going to go past Little Port village and continue down this very narrow footpath. Well, our route now crosses over this old disused track bed of the West Norfolk Junction Railway. All the fields around here are literally covered in flintstones, which is why a lot of North Norfolk houses and West Norfolk are actually covered in flints. It's an easy to come by commodity. And if you're an archaeologist, I quite believe doing a bit of field walking, you'll no doubt come across some items where the old Iceni may have used. Well, hello and welcome once again to my walk along the Peddars Way in the Norfolk Coast path. And we're in November and it's autumn time. Today is a little bit nippy, but we're now heading on our final leg of the Peddars Way walk to Holme next to sea, where we'll then rejoin the coastal path and it will take us all the way back to Cromer. I'm getting excited now. The sea is just over there and we're very near the end of the Peddars Way section of the walk. So come with me, let's go and dip our feet. Oh, just walking down this bit now. Nice little tree-lined section. There's lots of lovely berries of autumn, lots of little blackbirds and that taking feasts on them. And we're not far from the sea. Every time I take a step it looks further away, which is a bit uncanny. So we'll get there in the end. Along this coast, on this little shells of all the fish and crabs, etc. Well worth keeping the food. Well, I'm just about there. I'm right on the edge of the sea now. We've now walked right across the length of the county of Norfolk, just as the Romans did way back in their day. And I wonder if I had the same thrill of walking across to the sea like I have. But where did they go from here? Well, a lot of coastal erosions probably took away a lot of the things that were in the area. But no doubt they may have had ships here, they may have walked along the coastline a bit further along. The ships may have took them along to the Lincolnshire coast, who knows. All I know, it's been a lovely walk all the way along the Peddars Way. Rejoin this coastal path on our next leg of the journey along the Norfolk coast.